welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, please go back to lower body exercises A, body weight, because this is 4-week school, so you cannot skip classes. And then see you on the week 2 here. See you. Thank you. Bye. If you already watched the previous videos, did your homework, today we are starting with body weight leg exercises B. Today we are just learning the proper movements. There will not be much resistance included, which means you will not sweat that much. And I would also like to just quickly talk about something. As I'm recording these videos, which I haven't done in a while, I noticed immediately that I see every imperfection on my body. It didn't feel nice for a moment. I felt like I'm not good enough to record these videos and to teach you guys, but then I remembered myself, what the fuck? 3 years ago I had a motorcycle accident and my knee got brutally destroyed. I cannot bend more than this, and you can imagine which imbalance, is that proper word? You know what I mean? Created in my body. I'm still not symmetrical. My left side quad is still not strong and big as the right one. My lower leg muscles, but compared to everything what happened and how things could have turned out, I'm doing amazingly, and I just wanted to share this because I hope that you will also, in the moments you feel self-critical, find kindness and nice words for yourself. Because if I would just focus fully on my imperfections and be frustrated because I don't look like some other girls who train 5 times per week, which I do not, by the way, because I still don't live fully from working out. Sometimes we just don't see the positive and compare ourselves to someone's best, and most of those people never had motorcycle accident or surgeries as much as I did. And I'm quite sure that when you compare yourself to someone, they have quite different lifestyle and different or no hardships that you know of. Embrace your imperfections and keep working on improving while being kind and loving to yourself, because I said so. Today we are doing exercises that target more posterior, not just for the girls, guys. Everyone needs to have strong glutes. It's the biggest muscle, connects your lower body and upper body. And you think it's not important. How? Since we will not have any weights today, the first exercise, it's also like a warm-up, so you don't need any prep for this. Okay. We will be laying on our back with knees bent. Knees always in line with your toes, hips stay parallel, which means when we bring them up, you don't want to rotate on one side and you want to fully extend your hips, which means here, this line is fully stretched. You know what I mean? Okay, so for this exercise, you want to keep your hips parallel, slowly bring them down, up, full extension, slowly down, up. You want to feel those glutes. You can squeeze them on top if you want. You can scoop those hips in on top. If you feel too much hamstrings, you're too far forward, okay? So you want to feel the glutes. Of course, you feel the hamstrings as well, but mostly glutes. It can also be that now it's, I think, 13, 14, I don't know, 15, 16. Okay, I will count and I will speak. 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, you can also understand that when we are doing these exercises, only body weight, if you do one more or less. During the school, it's not important. When we start exercising for real, 1 rep can make a difference. The next one, I will start with deadlifts instead of going to similar movement, which is hip thrusts, because deadlifts are more complicated. Still got it. Deadlifts are more complicated than hip thrusts and require more energy, and I want you to be fully focused for this one. Later will be easier for hip thrusts. Okay, so you see I have a book here. You take anything, a bit heavier the better, but actually it really doesn't matter. Now I just want you to teach you proper movement and to feel that something will be in your hands. For this exercise, we want to be a bit wider than our hips, especially if we are doing like with the kettlebell, or for me now I'm doing with this book, and then I also have my hands in between. I need a bit wider stance. Same rule applies. Knees travel in line with your toes. If we do sumo stance, knees have to go out, okay? But for now, let's keep it simple. Once you spread your body weight on both feet evenly and your knees are in line with your toes instead of caving in, you grab your weight. I have a fat book, whatever you find. We want to engage our shoulder blades, which means that we move our shoulders back and down away from our ears, which means that the chest is out. Head is always in line with your spine. If you remember, when I said squats, we do with our hips going vertically down and extending on the way up. With deadlifts, we are doing hips moving to the back. That looks like this. You push your hips backwards, simultaneously bending your knees. And as if you see, we are only holding the weight. Arms are doing nothing. And come up. Many people in the beginning do this way. They feel like just because something is in their hands, they have to do something with it. No, here our resistance stays in our arms extended whole time. We are pushing our hips backwards and simultaneously bending our knees. You're pushing hips, slightly bending your knees. We want to keep the hips higher than our knees. We're not doing squat. Hips are higher than our knees. And then when you cannot go further back, that's it. You come up. We want full stretch in our glutes. Okay? You can bend your knees more, but then you will just activate more quads. We don't need it here. Shoulder blades, back and down, shoulders away from your ears, chest out, head in line with your spine. Push your hips backwards, simultaneously bending knees. When you cannot go further back, you come up. Very important thing is also avoid banana back, where your abdominal muscles doing nothing. You want to keep your core muscles engaged, protecting your spine, and avoid arching. So when you are here and you stand and have that position of your spine currently, which many women do, you want actively, you see here how it's relaxed, and here your hips are out. You want to engage these muscles and move those hips in to avoid stress on your lower back. And then there's no more movement in your spine. Movement is in your hips. You go back and up, back and down. So difference between squats and deadlifts is what? Deadlifts, hip hinge, upper body goes almost parallel to the ground. Squats, we go vertically down and up. Okay, let's do 20 with a good form. Grab your book, find the proper spine setting, not that. Inhale on the way down, exhale up. Slow and control on the way down, up. Slow down, short pause, why not? So you have to, even without extra weight, you should feel your glutes here, of course. As you see, my arms and spine don't change position. They just follow what hips and knees do. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What you also cannot feel right now is that once you have the weight here, it can happen that after a certain number of reps, you start rounding your spine because it gets harder to hold weight. In that case, guess what? You stop. You don't go through that, you know? That was deadlift. Depending on how you do it, I would call this one, as we did now, Romanian deadlift. We will start with dumbbells. So yeah, let's stick to doing Romanian deadlift. Second variation that makes many people confused, and I don't do it that often until they get to that point they understand and can perform properly. In this case, we will stand hip width apart. We can hold our weight now close onto our legs, as close as you can. Same thing is here. You are finding position of your spine, shoulder blades, your hips. Then you will just relax your knees, okay? Instead of locking them, you will just relax. Tiny flexion in your knees. From here, you will push your hips backwards without movement in your knees. You see? And come up. This is stiff deadlift, stiff leg deadlift, where we engage more hamstrings than glutes compared to the Romanians. If you would put a straight line on the ground and step on it and put your hips exactly on that line, when you do correctly hip hinge or deadlift movement, your hips should be behind that line once you do the movement. And come up. Push your hips backwards. When you cannot go further back and you fully feel stretch in your hamstrings, you come up. What is not necessary for this exercise, that we push our hips backwards and then go down. In this case, our spine muscles overtaking, and we don't need it in this case, okay? Let's just focus on hamstrings and glutes. Push your hips backwards. When they cannot go further back, come up. That's all. Let's go 20. 1, 2, 3, slow and control. 4, 5, 6, 7. By the way, 8. You also don't need this. You can, but what you really don't need is that. You don't need to bring your spine in this conversation. She's just there, following the movement. Hips are main role here, okay? And again, I have no clue how many did, like 10 more. 1, 2, 3. Here also you need to keep your body weight. 4, evenly spread. 5, 15. 16, and weight as close as you can. 17 on your legs, because you will see when we do it with real weight. 18, if you go forward, it will be a lot more stress on your spine. And again, we don't need it here. Last one, keep your feet down, Jasna. Okay, 20, stiff leg deadlift, done. Now we will do hip thrusts. As when I was showing Bulgarians, I came unprepared to this class. My apologies. This will not be comfortable, but it will do the job. I want you to find a chair or a sofa or a bed where you can put your upper back on top, like from your shoulder blades up. If you feel stress on your neck, you can relax your head in your hands, okay? That's what I like to do. Then what we need to find is 90-degree angle in our knee. Remember, for glute activation, we don't want shin diagonal like this. We want it vertical. And we also want full extension in our hips and keep the hips parallel. What will happen now for hip thrusts? We will, without moving our spine, okay? So here is your spine, this is your hips. We're not moving spine, we are moving our hips down and extending up. I was right, this is uncomfortable, but I'm tough, I can do it. You're laying on top of whatever you chose. You're not pushing it, okay? You're moving hips down and up. What no one wants to see is when you're down, that you let your hips make banana back and your abs go completely relaxed, because once you do it with weights, it will hurt your back and we don't want that. So remember, you can scoop your hips in for extra glute activation, but you don't have to if you don't want to. The most important is to not round your spine and keep the hips move up and down. Okay, 20 more. 1, 2, 3. So your neck. 4 is 5, relaxed in your hands. 6, also barely moving anywhere. 7, 8, 9, 10, control on the way down. 11, don't rush it. 12, 13, 14, 15, which means, by the way, yeah, to avoid lower back, banana back, you don't have to go fully down. For start, let's just go a bit down, keep that spine neutral, and up. And up. I don't know, like 2 more. Okay. If that was very, very easy for you, you progress with me to single leg hip thrusts. Everything is the same. We first go to hip thrust position. Hold your head. We don't want to activate, stress any muscles we don't need here, like neck muscles. Find 90-degree angle. I would say that's that. And now, while keeping hip bones in the same line, lift one foot up and then go down with your hips and full extension. Slowly down and up. 2. 5 more. Last one. By the way, I said there will be no resistance and will be easy. Not with this one. If you manage to get to this point, you will feel it. I meant only for the deadlifts. Yeah, this one is quite nice. You can do plenty for your glutes at home with body weight. And I will tell you soon what else. 4, 5, slowly down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That was lower body B, body weight. Please do your homework. As always, schedule at the end of the video, and see you next time for upper body B, upper body B, still body weight. And then I will tell you how much money you need to invest and which weights to buy. And no, unfortunately, I don't get any percentage of what you buy, but I will get fulfillment and satisfaction because I know it will be good for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with me, and thank yourself and be proud of yourself, no matter how small this feels like. Okay? See you next time. Bye bye. Oh, please like, subscribe, share, send it to everyone you know, and so on and so on.